Hey everybody, what up? Scuffy here. Getting an extreme close-up there for a minute. So today, we've got some game updates, and we're only a few days out from the Space Wolves being added to the game, but there have been some game updates to discuss, and I think they're pretty nice. Pretty nice stuff. Normally, I would go into the game and take a scroll look on the Discord on my PC and kind of read off and review everything. Unfortunately, my Discord on PC is having some issues, so I'm actually going to have to go through and just pull right up the Discord here and go through it. So we'll take a look here at some of these changes here. Now, I don't expect these to be all the changes. I think we're going to see more as we go across time. Move that down. But these are some pretty good steps in the right direction. So first off, balance changes. Nathaniel Garrow no longer starts with an extra card in hand. Now this has been a suggestion. It's a very mild reduction to how Garrow works. Doesn't change his initiative. It limits his longevity through the course of a game. He's going to have to rely a little bit more so on healing or some additional card draw tactics or troops to kind of keep that momentum going, which will help stall out in the late game. Unless you're playing a deck that is giving him cards, in which case you're not going to notice a difference. The big change with that will be kind of interesting to see is if there's going to be additional cards in the future, sets that generate card draw. Neutrals especially, particularly for that, because that is just going to kind of refuel the steam that he has. But currently as it is, I don't think it's a bad change. I think it's a pretty decent change. It's not over the top. It's not super aggressive. It's one scale back from where he is, and I think it's not going to change how he works initially. It's just going to change his late game or his mid game. If you throw in too many cheap troops, he's going to drop them all, and then he'll run out of steam very quickly. So that gives you some options there. So I like it. The big change here that I'm really hyped about, one of these, is Thaddeus Fail. And I've been working on Fail here, and I'm trying to put up a video of what I've got with Fail prior to, and then a few games of Fail after these changes. So hopefully, so long as the replays work, you can compare them side to side. I think these are big. First off, Thaddeus Fail starts with one more energy, so he's just like Ornitov. His Relentless is no longer conditional and will create an Imperial Army infantry in hand every turn. So what that means is, unlike Ornitov, whose is conditional and it gives you an infantry to your hand if you have no troops in play, Fail just gives you an infantry to your hand. Now, through the course of your game, that might start to work negatively towards you. If you've got a full hand, you're not going to get anything from it. It still is only Imperial infantry. You're not getting vehicles from it. You're not getting structures from it. So you run the risk of getting some very poor troops, as well as getting very high cost good troops. But there's a wide range there. But that one extra energy is so huge with Fail because his ability costs one energy, and his ability is a reactive to add flank, so you're adding a cost to the troops that you're already putting into play. And I've found through testing him, there's a couple different ways to build him, but the more effective way, he really gains steam late game, or having 9 or 10 energy. So being able to start at 3 energy out the gate opens up those avenues to him even faster, gives him some opportunity to really run with cards like Time Melt-A-Bomb, even just being able to drop down some of the high-cost vehicles that the Imperials or the Mechanicum have access to them late game, flank with them to help thin the board out, is huge. But that one extra energy is big because I was finding that he either didn't have enough health, or he didn't have enough energy to effectively pull off what he wanted to do every time. And if you're going up against a warlord who doesn't have a whole lot of troops, then flank does nothing for you, in which case you want to be able to put your troops out on board, so you have a way to do that with starting with one extra energy. And it doesn't really change anything that they've done with the Imperial Army warlords, and the fact that they all have 30 health. They've kept humans pretty much locked at 30 health, so that doesn't change anything there. But I think Fail has got some potential here, and I'm really itching to show off what he can do. Another huge change here for the neutral warlords is Angathil. Now, so many people have been complaining, asking, begging for this ability change to go from 2 to 0, similar to Kelber Hall. It's a big, when you really look at it, it's a big swing in terms of what it does. You're giving a Mark of Chaos for free. For free, you're giving a Mark of Chaos, which normally costs 1, whereas Kelber Hall is generating a Mechandrite for free, and then he still has to pay to apply it. You're giving a Mark of Chaos for free. Now, yes, there's various ways to stack that with cards that rally and gain Marks of Chaos, other cards that generate Marks of Chaos, so you can very quickly pump out some greater demons, especially if you're getting some troops out there that are already come into stealth mode, or that the first gift that you give them gives them stealth. I don't know if that's too big of a swing or not. It doesn't create a mark in your hand to give to a troop. It doesn't cost the cost of a Mark of Chaos. It's you're actually saving energy from doing it, So very interesting to see. And then of course his summoning demons ties into her passive ability in terms of ignoring the maintenance cost. Well, not ignoring, but reducing the maintenance cost of demons. So look to see Angathil increased play added into the ladder, because I think people are going to try her out, and it's always kind of fun summoning demons very quickly, and she has got the potential to do that. Now here's a change that I think is a step, but it's nowhere near what it needs to be, and that's Sevatar. We've just changed his initiative from medium to high. That's not Sevatar's problem, I don't think. I don't think that's Sevatar's problem at all. It gives him a chance to get a first turn attack of 3 in, but that's it. His ability and his passive just seem to kind of not fully gel right in with what the Night Lords do and how you want to play a deck. Now, that doesn't mean that Sevatar is unplayable. I think it just means that a Sevatar deck is very disjointed, very tricky to feel comfortable playing and to properly utilize, and that's the problem. And because of those two things, neither of which are initiative, neither of which are addressed by this update. So I don't know if this is going to change anything with Sevatar. I really doubt it. I don't think too many people are going to be rushing to play Sevatar. They'll be rushing to play these other warlords. And I hope down the road we will see more changes to Sevatar in terms of how his passive works, or how his ability itself is. Now, Malkarian, on the other hand, is another Night Lord, and actually he gains that battle honor, draw a card, so his ability is the same in terms of paying to increase the attack value of a troop by 2, which is good. But battle honor, draw a card is actually really good too, because what I found with Malkarian, and kind of the Night Lords in general, because of their frailty of their health and the way that they play, if you're going for an early game Night Lords deck, you run out of cards. If you're going for a late game Night Lords deck, you're taking a lot of hits. And Malkarian is not a warlord who can take the hits the way Kurz can. So giving him that battle honor, he might only have to use that 2 or 3 times in a game, but it's giving him a card each time that he uses it for destroying a troop. When he attacks it, that's huge. That's actually really big. That helps fuel his late game ability to combo, his late game ability to drop fast troops or flanking troops, or troops that are stealth, and he can pump them up, and that way he can continue to fuel his attack force without having to attack. And then if he does, he just gets another card for it. So I think that's a very smart change. I think that's a very smart ability to add to him without taking anything away from what he does. It simply helps fill in a weakness of what he has. It doesn't change the cost or anything like that. So that's interesting. It doesn't put me off at all. I'm actually kind of very curious to see how this will go. And then of course this one down here, Barb and Falk, start with an extra card and ability cost reduced from 2 to 1, which is crazy, because And a lot of people, if you've seen the top 5 cards needing to be improved, you know, a lot of people thought that Barbara and Falk was one of those cards that needed to be improved. And that poll was taken prior to the Falconing deck archetype being put out there, where people could actually see what it could do. Now, that doesn't mean that couldn't do that before, but this makes that deck, as well as the potential for putting Falk into a couple other deck types, really super easy and a danger to watch out for. It's very possible that Barb and Falk could quickly replace Garrow in terms of who you see on the dominant burst potential. He's going to start with an extra card, which makes it easier for him to get the cards that he needs for his combo. He's going to have his ability reduced to a 1 cost instead of 2, which makes it cheaper for him to use his ability for a combo. And the fact that the combo is not a high cost combo. At the best, you're talking turn 4 with 5 energy. You can pull this off now, as opposed to turn 6-ish, you know, with varying degrees of effect. The burst potential of the Iron Warriors was always there, but now with this especially, just doing with the Terminators and throwing out a Harsh Discipline the next turn in Barb and Falk, and boom, you're ready to go, and that pretty much locks the game. That's crazy. Throw down now you have enough energy with his ability to also throw down a Goldstone potentially. Up that, and now you've got an attack 5 Goldstone in addition to the 20-ish damage that your Terminator is going to do. So yeah, it's just crazy. That's pretty powerful, and I think that answers critics, but I think that the critics weren't really. I don't think that the criticisms were well founded to begin with. So look to see that just shoot up. People are going to be going crazy with it. I'm really interested in testing out Fail here, show him what he can do. Falk is really going to prove himself here. And we'll see how effective that works against Garrow. I don't think that it's a bad thing for him. Garrow's still going to work. He's just going to have to be played slightly differently. So these are huge announcements, because anytime you're changing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're changing 6 warlords here. And you can say, oh, yeah, there's 6 warlords that don't see a whole lot of play. That's not entirely true. I think 2 of them actually see some decent level of play, and I think all 6 of them are going to see some play increase to some degree, although Sevatar are probably on the lower end of that scale. This opens up the potential for how will the meta shift? Well, I'll be honest with you. For all of these warlords, it's great. I think it's good for the warlords, but we have not seen the full Space Wolf card pool following the Space Wolves. We're going to get 1,000 Suns and then a third faction very quickly. I mean, by the end of this month, pretty much, we will have set 4 out, and that is, you know, that's an additional 9 plus the future event warlords that they release as the 4th warlord. So you're talking another 12 warlords added to the game, give or take. And not to mention the card pool of the Space Wolves with Ward and Ward and Pack, and who knows what the 1,000 Suns will bring with their Psychers. I just did a lot of potential to just be saying, okay, these seem powerful now. In a week's time, are they really going to matter? I think if you had to ask me, I think the guys who affect your own troops, Falk, Thaddeus Fail, Ingathul, even Malkarian to some degree, these guys are going to improve just by the nature of what will exist. Because Kurz, not being able to use his ability on ward troops, that's gonna change how Kurz plays. Angron, running all those tactics, it's going to change how Angron plays. I mean, so many warlords that have been set in terms of how they operate are going to have to change. And I think really what's going to happen is players, instead of changing with them, are just going to change to something else. I think these are good options to look at switching into, not to mention whatever the Wolves bring here in 4 or 5 days. But I like these changes. I don't know about the thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm giving these thumbs up right there. That's my improvement. And then I don't know. I can't find a symbol here that I'm gonna like. Falk, yeah. Let's jazz it up a little bit. Let's jazz it up a little bit with the Battle Honor. There you go. So, good stuff. Look forward to seeing how this operates. Look forward to sharing some information here with Fail. If you haven't already seen the Falk stuff, you're going to see more of it. So get looking, get prepared, and very shortly we're going to be doing some Space Wolf stuff. So the hype is real. Anyways, thanks for checking in. Thanks for tuning in. Want to check out the game updates as of today? That's what I got. That's what I've got for you for right now, and I'm gonna get cracking on some practice in here. So that's it for me. Keep playing Legions. We'll talk to you later. All right, bye.